Hello, you're hanging with Storytime with Akasha. So, today I want to talk about how old were you when you first found out you had abilities? So, let's get it cracking. I was 8 years old when I found out I had abilities. I remember one day playing on the playground and the sun was just so bright, and I just stopped and looked up at the sun and just took in the rays. And it's just like something just engulfed me, just came down over my whole body. So then later on, when school was out and I went home, it was this female that stayed with us in the building. I can't remember her name, but she had to be about like 18, early 20s, somewhere up in there. And she was just so beautiful. Her whole aura, everything was just beautiful about her. Her energy is just, ooh. She would always speak to me. She'd be like, hey girl, and I would always just laugh at her, and she would always want me to go to the store and get her a pickle or burger or whatever, her and her boyfriend. And the boyfriend was the one that I had a problem with. Every time I would talk to her, he would peep his head around. If we was in the hallway, he would open the door. He just had to see what she was doing, what she had going on, or who she was talking to. And every time I would see this man, his energy was so off. His energy was so dark. And no, I didn't like him. So I always stayed clear of him. And so I would go to the store for her and bring her back a food or whatever. So one day they was all on the porch, and I came downstairs because we stayed in an apartment building. I stayed on the third floor. She stayed on the second. She stayed across the hall from my oldest brother, one of my oldest brothers. And so this particular day, they was on the porch, and I came down and she saw me again. She was, hey girl. And I'll speak to her, and she's like, you want to go to the store for us? You can get you something too, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, sure, cool. And there he go, peeking around her. And there go that energy, that dark energy. So I go to the store, get what they need or whatever, what they want, get me something too, come on back, give it to them. So one day, I'm sitting in my room on the bed, and it just hit me. Go talk to her. Go tell her what you've been feeling about her dude. Go tell her what's been going on, or how his energy is off and just dark. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm 8 years old, and I'm like, go tell this female that her dude is dark. Something's not right about his energy. I feel like he might hurt you one day. I was afraid to tell her that because I didn't know how she was going to look at me or what she was going to think about me anymore at this point. Like she wasn't going to like me anymore. That was what was going through my mind. I'm in fear at this point. I'm like, I don't want to do that. So you could say that this right here was the first thing that I was supposed to do for the Most High. Like, and I know we're supposed to be very obedient, but at this point I was being disobedient. I really was. I didn't tell her. And I didn't. I just didn't go. No, I didn't go out and go downstairs, knock on the door. I didn't say anything to her at all. So a couple of days after that, she was like the superintendent of the building, so she had to clean up, the building and everything, and take the garbage out. So she did this one evening, and she went to take the garbage out, and he was hiding behind the garbage can. And he just jumped out from behind the garbage can and just started stabbing her. She ran up to her apartment where her mom and her sister was, because they all shared an apartment together. And her mother was an older lady. She was, real old. And I don't even know how old she probably was when she started having them, but she was an older lady. But so when she ran upstairs to her apartment to get away from him, he came into her apartment and finished stabbing her in her kitchen. And the sister ran out the building and she ran down the street to a payphone to call for help, call the cops and everything, and the ambulance got there. And she was dead when they got there. And they found the guy down the street at a bar, just sitting there drinking. They got him, took him to jail. I don't know how long the guy got, because like I said, I was young. And but I remember waking up and looking out my window and seeing the ambulance and seeing them bringing her out on a stretcher with the white sheet over her. And for a long time, this set on me and set on my heart. Like, it's like every time I would speak about it, my throat would tighten up, or I would feel bad and I would want to cry. And I felt bad about it. So my first assignment failed. It's not funny because I couldn't tell her, but I should have. I should have told her. I should not have worried about what anybody would have thought about me or what she would have thought about me. I could have saved her life, possibly, you know. Even if I would have told her and she would have thought negative about me, at least maybe she could have thought about him, paying attention to him, paying attention to his ways, his attitude, his temperament. And I possibly could have saved her life. But by me not saying anything at all, she didn't think anything about him trying to harm her in any way. But this man took her life. And like I said, that was my first assignment, and I didn't complete it. I failed it. So that's why now, when things come to me, a message to give, I have to give that message. So right now, it's more so of the children that are being born into this world right now, to this day. They are so wise. And I know y'all been seeing a lot of YouTube channels and Facebook where the kids are raising their heads up as soon as they're born, holding on to each other, latching on to the mama's face, holding their face. These children are so wise. So wise and gifted. Wiser but weaker. And it is up to us to help guide them the way that they need to go. To help them do the things that they need to do. Don't hinder them. Don't stop them from saying the things that they need to say to the people that they need to say it to. Because that might be a message that they need to get out to those people that they're talking to. So don't try to hinder them or tell them that they're wrong. You don't say things like that. That is not right. I mean, you can teach them to be very respectful at their approach, but let them get those messages out because it's meant to be said. So again, how old were you all when you first started noticing you had abilities? I would really like for y'all to comment that. So like, share, subscribe, comment. Comment on if you was afraid to say certain things when you was growing up to certain people. How you felt, things and such. I would really like to know. So again, you have Story Time with Akasha. You all have a great rest of your day.